you know how when we're in anxiety or in a depressed mode, and both of those often come together,
Mhm.
to get out of it is really actually can be quite simple when we start doing those things that light us up and
Mm.
really doing the things that we truly love. And so I really want to know what lights you up.
That's such a good question. I love that question. What if we just started that instead of like, hi, how are you? What if we just said, hey, what's lighting you up these days? That's so good. Thank you for asking that. For me, what lights me up is spending time in nature and spending time in nature with my family specifically. I have my husband and a 6-year-old son, and we get outside every day, whether year round. I live in New England, so we fully experience all 4 seasons, but we make sure that we're out in nature every day. Just this morning, I was out, and we're still in late winter, early spring here. There's still snow in my yard. And on driving my son to school, we saw our first cardinal, the first red cardinal, and stopped to take a look. And we'll often go and watch the full moon rise or watch the sunrise. And there's just something about being in nature that really, it lights me up. And that, we didn't talk a lot about nature here, but that has definitely been a big piece in my healing as well. For anyone out there listening who has anxiety or depression, go and watch the sunrise. There can be no better antidote for anxiety or depression than to actually sit and be still and watch the sun come up. If you want to feel more reflective, go watch the sunset.
And even if we don't feel it, and even if we think it's not going to do anything, it is going to do something. Because I know from my own experience, and I think you do too, it's when we are in this anxiety depression mode, anything that we think about we want to do or we should do, we don't want to do. Although we cognitively know it's going to make us feel better, we don't want to do it. There's such a pull from that vortex into the darkness. But we just have to make a decision and say, I do not want to be pulled into this vortex. I am choosing the light. And so doing the things, even though we may not feel them, we may not even feel better in that very moment, but we will notice that maybe half an hour later or accumulatively, we will feel better.
Right. It's not immediate. It's not always going to be immediate, but if we keep showing up and doing it. And just one last thing I'd like to share is nature can be such a mirror. And when you talk about, I love this vortex idea that you've brought in, and we talk about that. And if we look at the transition between the seasons, that can kind of be like the vortex, like you're going through the muck and mire. I mean, I'm thinking of it right now, just even looking out at my yard, it's not pretty out there. It's dark, like nature, but underneath there's this emergence, this growth, the daffodils will start popping up and the tulips and it will happen, but there has to be this kind of muck and mire to go through. So I think we can look to nature and see nature as a teacher, and the sun rising, like the sun will rise every day. So show up, go and watch. Even if it's cloudy, you can sit there and know that the sun is rising. I've done that many times.
Thank you. Thank you for that. Thank you so much for being here, Jamie. What a great conversation. Really, really loved it.